They want to put Yumi in the game.
Oh, hell no! That's hell no!
Yeah, hello everybody. I hope you're having a great night tonight. Thank you for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Real quick, if you don't mind, please like and subscribe. I quite literally only have 13 subscribers, but hey, gotta start somewhere. Get that YouTube algorithm to do its thing. Anyways, enough of this yap. I appreciate you watching. On to the next yap, so you're on somewhere else. And this is what I have so far right now. So let me explain to you what we have going on. So I was able to actually play the game a little bit. I put my hands on it. I've really been enjoying it, but I had this idea for the video, and then all of the, popular FGC content creators put their videos out pretty much the date of release, and that's all fine and good. I understand the model, the hype and everything, but I wanted to put my hands on it and see what I think of the game and who we should actually put it in. And surprise, surprise, there's 163 characters plus to choose from. So we're gonna go in and see if we can figure out, now that I played the game for an extended amount of time, I probably put in a good 30-40 hours in the game so far. Really, that first night I put in so much time. I was actually blown away by how good and smooth it was and how fast it launches. The only big complaint is there's still only 8 characters. Like they soft launched Teemo with that little battle pass thing or whatever, but it's still, we have a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and go through these tiers a little bit and see what we got going on. So S tier, brain dead, they're in. Pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. They're in, nothing else to say about it. Pretty much Teemo is like the only unconfirmed but confirmed. And you already see here that I've got a cat here because that's the first character they ever showed for when it was called Project L, and they made it 2XKO. I mean, the name's growing on me. Couldn't have named it like something, Lethal Tempo or something, or League of Knockouts, something like that. Those both sound good. And they've got the Arcane tier, where if you're in Arcane, there's an extra 75% chance that you get priority in the game and that you'll be able to play. So I'll try to keep it a little light. And then we got somewhat, and then we got the Jace, JB not. Arcane is definitely mentioned in here. So Arcane tier is like pretty much S tier or regular S. They're gonna get first pick, except there's a couple of exceptions that we'll be putting in there. And then we got the yeah, I could see it where it could be yeah, just I can see. And then we have the tier where it'd be like it's a little bit more cloudy, where it's too much work or they're just simply too unpopular. You know what I mean? Where it would just be too much work. And I'll kind of go through each one of these tiers to show one example, and then I'll start from the top and go to the bottom, just like that. And then we have the they're not going to be put in. And then we got the hell nah, which is, super young characters. For instance, since she's at the top here, let's go ahead and do this here. Annie, I would put her, I know she's super young and she would regularly go in the hell nah, but there's a couple characters in the FGC already, like Bedman is one, or they can make her like Farrah Thor, but I don't see them doing it. She's a kid. It is just too much work involved. And speaking of kids, look at all these characters, dude. What the hell? Where the hell is she at? Speaking of kids and animals,
What?
they want to put Yumi in the game.
Oh, hell no! That's hell no!
Hell nah goes the Yumi. They will not put Yumi in here unless it's like some caster role or some goddamn beginning of the entry of the game where you see the little announcer character. Maybe they'll put her there eventually as the years come, but hell no, they're not gonna put her in the game as a support or nothing else. There's like 1,000 people in this roster, so we better get started. Let's look for another just too much work. Aurelian's just gonna be too much work. The guy goes down the lane, he has all these stars, he can summon stars. It's just too much work. It would be cool and I could see him being in the game, but it would be a lot of work to balance in him. And biggest of all, he doesn't even have a goddamn body. He's like 1/10 on the screen in the game. Cool character in League of Legends, by the way. Both the iterations I think were really fun. I don't care what anybody says. First Aurelian, second Aurelian are good, and I like the way they did it. But nah. And then another in nah. Just since we're here, Callista, just not popular enough. She's cool, very unique champion. She's just not popular enough to me, in my opinion. So here we go with Arcane here. Let me scroll down all these characters we're gonna get through. We have, where the hell is this? Is in alphabetical order, I just realized. In Jace, JB, or JB not, I know he's in Arcane, and I know that, you know, he gets priority, but I feel like it'd be a lot of work, but he'd fit in. I might change my mind throughout the video here, but I feel like Victor would be a lot of work to add and balance, since a lot of his stuff is far range, and Jinx already takes up, you know, a really big chunk of that. She takes up a really big chunk of it already, of all the range stuff. So I don't know if they added in. Highly likely in Wafa, since I see her right here, Akali. Akali is definitely super waifu, very likely to be in the game. I can see her and her knives. She would be easily adaptable to the game. It wouldn't be too much work or too much thought to add her in. She is highly likely. And then another one in, I could see it. I could actually see Karma in the game. I know a lot of people be like, no way, Mage. They could do a lot of stuff to Karma. She's pretty popular. She has a lot of skins in base League of Legends, but Ionia's a rough sell since they don't have anything in the general public. Doesn't really know too much about Karma, but I really could see Karma in the game, sort of like along the lines of like a Dizzy in Guilty Gear, something like that. So let's think. All right, we'll keep on going on. Kind of going in order here. Aatrox, I will put him in somewhat. He's pretty popular. He is another sortie, so there's already a lot of sorties if you look out in here already. I say a lot, but there's only like 2 or 3 that use all that a sword in long range like that, but easily adaptable. They're gonna have to give him an install. He would be kind of on the lines of like a Under Night and Birth character. Maybe give him some Rekkas to fit along with his Q, but hey, he would be up there. He'd be in there. And then we got in the Nah, there's a long list of Yordles, but let's start off with Mr. Arcane himself. I could see them putting, everybody's gonna hate it. Everybody's gonna hate him, but I can really see that boy Heimerdinger being in the game. You already know the vibes. The turrets, I could see them adding him and it not being so super toxic. He was very popular in the animation. I can see him. I might put him in somewhat after thought, because it would be a lot of work. It would be a lot of work for them to be added into 2XKO. But I can see them putting the time for a golden boy. So let's go into, now this one is, let me count, it's up here. There's 163 works up here. Yeah. So this one's gonna be interesting. Akshan, I feel like in between these two, and yeah, I can see it, and just too much work or too unpopular. Akshan's actually pretty unpopular. I think he has like, as of recording this, he has like under a 2% pick rate in the game. He's not that popular, but I could, with the grappling hook and his crossbows and stuff, I can see him being in the game. I really could. They can work with that off of here. Alistar, just too much work. He's so simple that he's one of the most simple original 40. He's so simple that they'd have to make him more flashy in the game. You know what I mean? Not saying that there'll be like a hell nah or nothing, but I feel like there'll just be too much work to make him more interesting in a fighting game. The Mummy is along the same lines. I like Amumu. He's not unpopular. He's actually one of the most popular and iconic champs in the game. But yeah, he needs more flair for it to be appealing. Like both of these two, this guy just sends the bandage, stuns twice, and he rolls his head. This guy lifts you up in the air, tackles you, and this is like a breakdown for people who may not be familiar with League, but are interested in 2x KO and to see what's forth. And then another one here, I guess since we're going in order, Bird is gonna go in too much work, too unpopular. It would be so much work for her to be added. Actually, I'm just gonna say nah to Anivia. I like Anivia, she's really cool. I like all the champ for the most part in the game. It is just she has too much going on. She has a resurrection element, which is a big part of her kit. It's a passive. She just holds you in space. She puts a big old whirlwind and it costs mana. It is, yeah. Like, these guys have been around since around 2009. No, they're not gonna. Anivia is just, it's so much work that I couldn't possibly seeing them doing the work. I know they're billionaires, but I just couldn't see them doing the work for Anivia. So I'm just gonna put her in nah. They're not gonna do it. Aphelios, 200 years champ. I could see it. Actually, I'd be willing to put him up on Jace, JB, or JB not. I could see them doing something along the lines of that one Guilty Gear character that can summon, because he has the 6 weapons and he can shoot, and he only has technically 3 abilities, and everybody else has 4 plus, not if you don't include Hui in there where you have to press combination. Which leads me to Hui. Since I said his name, where the hell is he at? Okay, cool. So here's Hui. After I found him, I'm gonna put Hui at the top here. Like, these two, I can see them being like a complex character down the line. Is it going to be anywhere soon? No, but I feel like they can make a really engaging character out of these two guys. These guys have flair, relatively popular, newer. People will be more familiar with them. He has a tie-in with Jin. These guys have some good skins out. Hui would be definitely like that Guilty Gear character that I'm going to think of when I have the time later. Ashe, they don't have a bow fighter, but I'm going to put her at the bottom of I could see it, because Ashe is really popular. Also an original 40s champ, if I'm correct there. Azir would be more in the lines of puppet character, kind of like Zato or something like that. So they're only gonna, the space for having the puppet character, which they probably will add in the future, it's gonna be tough competition for the puppet character. And for Azir, I think it'd be a lot more work than it's worth. I would like to see him as being the puppet character, but if they're gonna add a puppet character, it won't be him. It's gonna be actually either be Shaco, but they hate Shaco, so I'm gonna put him right there since we're on the topic of it. And it probably should be Fiddlesticks. So I'll put him at the end of somewhat. If they're gonna have a puppet character, they can just make his clone be that, and I'm gonna go in depth about him in the video coming up as well. So he has the popularity. I know things have been shifting more towards waifu, quote unquote, Gunner-ish with all the characters. It would definitely be, him or Shaco, but Shaco is infamous, not famous. Naruto war flashbacks. Yes, let's keep going. Bard, he wouldn't fit in. No, I just say nah. And I say a lot of healers wouldn't fit in. Now, here's a hot take here. Bel'Veth, in my opinion, they could make her work. They could easily make her work. I'm going to make a whole video about her. I feel like she would fit into the game really well in a myriad of ways, and they could cover her, make her something kind of like Seth or something along those lines. That's just a spitball at the top of my head. Brand's popular in the game. I'm gonna put him. He wouldn't fit into the fighting game. He wouldn't fit in. I might make an extra tier just for he just simply wouldn't fit. I can see them working some. I'm gonna have to put Kate in Arcane. They'll make a way. They'll make a way for Kate. Kate made them way too much money. Kate and Vi makes too much money. I could see Brand like as an area control character. Yeah, but you'll see why with all the Arcane lists that's coming along. Heimerdinger would take that spot before Brand, in my opinion. So I wouldn't put him that low. Yeah, probably everybody in Arcane is making it. So I'll go ahead and fill up Arcane real quick. Here we got Warwick. Definitely, probably the top of the list that can be added for sure. The easiest one to add, the easiest one to make abilities for. His kit in the game pretty much, in my opinion, is almost a 1-for-1. It's hard. It would be so hard to mess up Warwick in this game, and I would actually be surprised if they didn't add him within the year. If we're being really, he's super popular, and he's also going to be in the video I'm going to be talking about later on to help people who aren't too privy to League of Legends but are interested in 2xKO. Like a lot of people in the FGC that just don't play League of Legends. They might have seen Arcane, but they don't know what the hell League of Legends is. Warwick is not already in, which is really crazy. He is very popular, especially from the show. Very surprising that he's not in. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do with Warwick, and it's really going to be hard to mess up. I really appreciate you watching this far along. It means the world to me. I know you got other stuff to procrastinate on or dissociate, and you giving me that little bit of time. I really appreciate it. I know it's annoying. Believe you me, I know it's annoying, but I used to be a viewer. If you could please like and subscribe on this video, it would mean the world to me. My setup's worse, and my editing skills are even worser. Worse, whatever the hell. I don't know English anymore. It's been a long day. I've been trying to get this video out for a while. I would really appreciate it. I'm 13 strong, appreciate what I have, but I want to grow it up a little bit. I want to grow it, just a little bit. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. You notice that the audio is really weird with me talking. It's because I decided to use water flosser for the first time ever. Like, I don't know what convinced me to start that day before I started recording all my stuff, but it tore my gums up. And you're like, oh, well, you should be flossing. I do floss, but dude, these people put the highest pressure they could find off default, so like my gums were kind of messed up. I don't know what the hell happened. It's kind of crazy, but anyways, I really appreciate you watching this far. You guys have a great rest of your night. Like and subscribe. I know it's annoying. I'm saying it one more time. Thank you so much. See you.